Hey, welcome to the Could Be Better podcast, brought to you by Old Mother Brewing. Colin, hey, what's up?
Nothing. I thought that would be a lot longer, but I guess.
Oh, no. I was like, oh, hey, I got to do this thing. No, that's about it. I'm feeling better, but my brain is still kind of where it normally is now.
Chris got me sick. This will be months before anybody hears this episode.
Oh, yeah, these jokes are old.
The last time we recorded, Chris was sick and he got me sick.
Yeah, it was this thing called the common cold. It was crazy.
You minimize it like that, but
I think so because I'm scared of saying it was COVID, but I tested negative like every day for multiple days. Also, now that you said this is like a month old, it makes me really sad because I feel like these jokes won't be as funny. But speaking of being funny,
I don't know if that was a good transition.
No,
but,
it was not.
We have a very special guest today.
I did laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
This cold open's this is going really well.
This is going really well. No, we have Scott Marceron from the Frederick Rock School, or the Frederick Let There Be Rock School, the guy who invented the Let There Be Rock School, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and I got to learn some stuff that he actually isn't Jack Black, and that is a real story, and that is a thing, but it's not what it is here in town.
There was a point in time, I should say, this is probably a good place to say this too here at the beginning. I'm glad I didn't get into it in the actual interview because it would have been awkward. But I was the editor of a certain publication that comes out every Thursday in this town's newspaper for a year or two. And one of the first stories that I assigned was for somebody to go out and profile the Let There Be Rock School and Scott and his family and the business. And when I did this, I told the writer, I told him, I think Scott does God's work. And I do. I really think that. He goes out there and he gives kids a window into music and art and makes it easy, and he makes it relatable, and he enables them to learn a craft, which I think, again, is God's work. I think it's a really great thing.
Yeah, and I don't want to steal too much of the interview in the intro here, but like I didn't have this growing up, and so just the fact of having a place where kids get to do this stuff is just really, really cool. So yeah, I'd say he's definitely doing the Lord's work, and it's just,
you know how hard it is. Like, you know how hard it is to deal with. Well, you're gonna know soon, to deal with 8-year-olds to 15-year-olds to 12-year-olds to 17-year-olds. I don't know. I don't know that I would have the patience for it. And I'm not saying that he necessarily works with every. I don't know. I don't know the day to day.
But he said he sent those families and like those kids like Zoom links every day during the pandemic.
And
like,
I believe that.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, but man, like what a soul.
No, I know, and I think it's very important. I think music, obviously, is very important and should be very important to everybody. That's what I feel. Yeah. That's just me. And if you give children at a young age the ability to explore that and learn it, and have the patience to do all of that, that's a pretty big deal. There's nothing like this around town.
And it changes kids forever. I mean, like
it does.
It changes how you think. It changes how you look at the world, and how you look at other people. And just for them to be able to create that space is just it's remarkable.
Yeah. So God bless him for that. We talked a lot about the school. We also talked about his own music career.
Shaft,
and we had 3 songs, one of which is from Shaft, right?
Yes.
I think it's the last one. Have you listened to all of the songs, Chris?
Of course, I listen to all of the songs. I'm a professional. I listen to everything.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
So by the time this episode came out, we had our first show back at New Spire.
It was great.
Yeah, I think it was the. I mean, I've not seen a bigger turnout in a long time.
Ooh, you're telling me. Ooh, doggy.
So good for Frederick. Thanks for everybody who's played. Thanks for people that came out. We actually have another show coming up, which is released already. It's
coming out.
I mean, it's, I guess, yes and.
When?
It is going to be March 12th. It's a Saturday. It's at Old Mother Brewing, which, again, show sponsor, needs no introductions, needs no plug.
I know.
It's
Old Mother. I mean, go get their new hot beer, Miller Lite.
Yeah, it's crazy how much it tastes like an Old Mother beer. It's the best. So yeah, it's Saturday, March 12th. It's at Old Mother. Cosmic Halitosis is going to play. I think they're gonna play a bunch of songs off their new record. There's a I think Baltimore emo rock god named Ben DeHaan. He's going to play, and then
it's on my business card.
and then the apparently one of many Grateful Dead tribute bands here in Frederick, and they're called Rays of Violet.
I don't know how you're a Grateful Dead tribute band and you're playing an opening slot on a show.
I think they're just going to go real hard real quick.
They're going to do one song. That'll be it. That one song will be 45 minutes, and that'll be the end of the set. We should have them on.
And just let them play one song.
Yeah. I only got one song. By the way, anybody, did we ever close the loop on the marshmallow... Sour Patch watermelon thing?
No, and I'm glad you brought that up because every single day I've had listeners email us at couldbebettermeh@gmail.com asking about where things are, and it's staggering.
Thank God. I know. We need to tell you to stop emailing us. We're getting too much. And we need to stop sending us gifts too, because
yeah, I mean between the gifts, between the sponsorship ads, I mean we have some cool things coming up with lots of other sponsors that can email us and have been emailing us at couldbebettermeh@gmail.com. Like, please stop. Like, we don't need any more like sponsorships. We don't need more money.
What did you say we're ranked? We're ranked on Apple Music.
Yeah, we're 89.
We're 89th in the world.
Yeah. In the United States, but it's okay. But I mean, 89. But we are in the top 100.
The top 100 of the categories
music interviews.
Specific and stupid.
Yeah,
I don't quite know what else to say about that, but we are 89 in podcasts that talk about music, food, interviews, and Frederick, Maryland, I guess.
Yeah. 89 is awesome, my IQ score, so it's all good.
Yeah. So I just say they're really good. I just want to say that.
Yo, so
they're not sour. They're marshmallows.
Would you put them on a s'more?
I really think you could.
But would you? Would you do white chocolate?
No, I don't like white chocolate. But I would probably try. The thing is they have the sprinkles, the
sparkly things.
The sparkly things.
Yeah, fairy dust.
So I don't know if that would translate well.
I mean, it could make a sparkling s'more sensation. That triple S, you know.
Sparkling s'more sensation.
Speaking of a sparkling s'more sensation, here is our interview with Scott Marceron.
Well, here we are. Here we are with my best friend, Scott. My best friend, Scott Marceron.
I love you, Colin.
There we go.
I said I wasn't going to say it, but first thing out of my mouth.
12 seconds in, and we got an I love you. Now, what I'm going to say is every time you say I love you, Colin, people have to drink. That's this episode's drinking game.
We're one up on them.
Well, there we go. So how are you?
I'm well. That's
good. How are you, Chris?
And I'm great. The last time we recorded, I was not feeling super great, and I'm feeling the opposite of that now.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I guess that's the end of the episode, everybody.
So the guest you had on last time is now sick in bed.
No, I got sick from it.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the worst. It was like the kind of like thing. It was like, isn't it, it's this thing called the common cold, and we haven't heard of it in a long time. But it was like, I kept testing negative. I was like, sure, just let it be COVID. Let me just take it, and it wasn't. And I was so frustrated because I was miserable. I was draining, and I was sneezing. And it was the worst.
Typical. You can still get sick.
Contrary to popular belief,
right? Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But Scott, so you do so much here, but like and for people that are
no, you don't.
My wife would definitely differ on that statement.
We have a caller on the line. She's probably here.
Keila, is that you?
So, like you're for the people that aren't tuning into the live feed right now, you have a hoodie that says "Let There Be Rock School." So you are from the rock school, correct? You're not the Jack Black school, but it's the Let There Be Rock
I started
School.
my own thing 12 years ago. It's called Let There Be Rock School. So we kicked it off in January of 2010. So we just celebrated 12 years.
That's awesome.
This January.
What have you done in 12 years, Colin?
Well, I moved to Maryland and it hasn't really worked out, so that's about it. Now you with the rock school, I've always kind of wondered about this. You and I have talked about it 1,000 times over, and we've worked on 1,000 different things, which hopefully we'll talk about here in a few minutes. But it's not just Frederick, right? That expanded.
We have other locations. So I kind of license them out to really great friends of mine, that other guys have been in the industry like me forever. So we have one in Philadelphia with my best friend John Daly, who managed Every Time I Die for 10 years, and Silverstein and Chiodos, and
I thought I was your best friend.
You are, buddy.
So did I insult you then by calling it the Rock School? Is that the wrong thing?
No, it's fine. I mean, that's what everybody calls it.
Okay.
But the official name is Let There Be Rock School.
Let There Be Rock School. Okay.
And,
okay.
We've got 2 in El Paso with Pepe Clark from King, KYNG band, and then one with, I'm having a brain fart now. Kyle Sanders from Hell Yeah.
Cool.
And down in Georgia, and we got them around California, Martinsburg.
I was going to say Martinsburg, wasn't that one? Is that still going?
That's with Butch, drummer and Shaft. Yeah, my dude.
And so, I guess for people that don't know, it's not like Jack Black the movie, Let There Be Rock School, right?
No, Jack Black the movie is actually the big giant franchise that has like over 600 locations worldwide.
Okay.
That's called School of Rock, that movie was based off a guy named Paul Green of Philadelphia that started the original School of Rock, and it was called Paul Green School of Rock.
Oh, sure.
They had an HBO documentary.
Yeah,
That's where I first saw it. They did an amazing documentary on Paul Green. It was awesome, and I'll never forget. I was looking at Keela. I was like, oh my God, like what an amazing idea.
Sure.
This would crush in Frederick County. And then obviously his thing exploded, and I actually looked into that avenue, and it was super corporate and very strict, and you got to do this and this. I was like, no.
Yeah.
And I looked at Keela, not to sound this way, but I was like, man, I think I can do it better. And I know how I want to do it. Sure. And really get kids playing together, and if they grow together and help develop a band and do the things we've done. We had no money. I worked at a utility company, and we bought our house before the bubble. The whole housing market.
Yeah.
Busting crazy. So we had a bunch of equity, and I looked at her, and every bank in Frederick County laughed at me with my business plan, because no one was loaning money to a small business at that point at all. I got laughed out of every bank. I had a pretty money proposal too, like business plan. And she looked at me and said, fuck it. We'll refinance the house. Go for it. If we got to start over and move back in with my parents, that's what we'll do.
That's awesome.
She's a dancer. She's danced her whole life. She gets it. She's traveled and done that whole thing. And she's just like, hey, we'll make it work. So let's just give it a shot. And well, now it's like 12 years later. So
are you going to have another 12 years?
I hope so.
Well, do you look at it? Do you get tired anytime? And you're like, oh man, couldn't I just be a plumber?
No, to be honest with you, man, it's the best thing I've ever been a part of. Of course, like the day-to-day crap always gets tiring. I mean, it's anything you do, but to watch the kids perform and watch their faces is better than anything I've been a part of, besides watching my kids being born. But we just had them play the emo show down in Baltimore at a soundstage this past Saturday. They opened the show. There were 673 people there screaming back at them, and I got kids playing to a packed house at Baltimore soundstage, and they were losing their mind. Yeah. It was pretty awesome.
That's, we had, I think our first or second episode we had, what was his name? Sam, that's right. Sam, Sam from
music.
Yeah. Mortimer Monroe.
Yeah. Yes, I know Sam, yeah.
And Mortimer Monroe was kind of an example, it's much like Bad Seed Rising too. These bands that have come through your school that have these amazing opportunities, like the one you just mentioned playing in front of people. But those bands were signed. Even you got them signed. What's it like to see bands through that process? Is that even more gratifying?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Because that's where I started. So I came from being in an original band and touring and signed a really shitty record deal and, played everywhere for no money and, had a really great manager, and then I got in the business side of things. So, once our band, we knew it wasn't going to happen. He was like, hey, come in the office and work with me. And we worked for a company called Uppercut Management who had Kid Rock and a couple other artists. We opened up a Philadelphia office, and then we had a bunch of acts we got signed, and so we did that for a lot of years. And and then I got hired at Roadrunner Records in 2001. I was Monty Connor's assistant A&R scout dude for him.
Ooh.
At Roadrunner, and did that. So I've been through all of that. So yeah, I mean, it definitely helped bringing that to the school to when kids were like ready for that next level. If they show that they wanted to get there, I was there to help them out and kind of lead them down the right path and right direction and whatnot.
Do kids always want to do that? Do you find, or do you see that bands that come through your school, some kids are just like, hey, this is just fun. I just want to do this.
Absolutely.
I don't care.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's so funny because when I first opened a school, I wanted every band to kill and like just destroy.
Kill
and
and
I would come
destroy.
home upset. I'm like, I don't know what to, like. They're just not,
They're not
kill is
killing.
like, relax. I've been teaching dance forever. My mom's been in business for 53 years, dance studio in Thurmont. Like, you're gonna have what we call them. We call them rec kids. They come there once a week or twice a week, take dance classes, and they're there just to have fun. It's a recreational thing for them. It's exercise or whatever it may be. She goes, you're going to have that at the rock school. You're going to have kids there that just want to have a good time and play some music and blow off some steam and play some, cool shows and do some things, but they're not going to be super serious because maybe they play volleyball or they play soccer or they play football or whatever else. But they think it's cool to be at the rock school and play some music with some friends. So we have a lot of that. So we have a mixture of both.
But how special is that too, that you get to have that creative freedom in that space? Like, you're not, it's not like you're trying to make this like sausage factory of like hot dog bands where everyone's going to be the same and they're all going to sound this way. Like, you really are giving kids a safe space to be creative and to kind of find out. And then it's like, if they want to do it, you have an option if they want to do more, and then you have a space if they don't. And that's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, we've had a couple kids on. We had a young girl from our Philly school in the Voices past season.
Oh.
And she was just a powerhouse singer, and she got through, and she was actually on the show on Blake Shelton's team. And we had a girl 6-7 years ago make it to the final show on Blake Shelton's team.
Wow.
On The Voice. So, yeah, they get a lot of cool opportunities. We've coached them and helped them along the way. But yeah, I mean, it's all kinds of different musics, man. I have from death metal, I mean, heaviest of the heaviest. I have a band now called Malice that rip, and they're awesome. To like kids that want to do pop music, have kids that are into jazz, a little bit of everything. And we try to pair those kids up accordingly. So we try to get them with the right fit, and we move kids all around until we do find that right fit.
Sure.
Sometimes it takes a hot minute, but
yeah. So this, I think we're going to play a song here from one of those bands that did kind of find their gel a little bit. Can you talk about
it's a band called Flight Away. They're one of the newer bands at the school that are all original and writing songs and playing a bunch of shows. They just played in Baltimore at the Auto Bar, and they got a bunch of cool stuff coming up this year, and they're going to be releasing their EP probably in the next month or so. They did a full-length EP. Well, not full-length EP, but a 6-song EP. So it'll be coming out.
Sweet. So for regular listeners of the show, you've heard this song before, but we are excited to play again, Flight Away. Here we go.
Overhead, and Take away all the pain you brought today. Run from mistakes of tomorrow, because it's been so long. Not the place for second chances. Hopeful nights and young romances. Only you, because it's been so long, I'm so over it.
All right, we're back. We're back. That was an amazing song. How'd it sound? How'd it sound, Scott?
Sounded great.
That did sound great. I want to talk for a few more minutes about the school because we are still officially in the middle of a pandemic, of course, and it's been that way for the last couple years. How has your school adjusted through all of this? Have you seen enrollment? You could say go down, but I could also see it go up because maybe kids want to learn this type of stuff and you do virtual lessons. So how has this been for you?
We've been very fortunate and very thankful. But yeah, man, it was funny. We had kids in the building March 15th. I had an emergency staff meeting on the 16th. We were fully online on March 17th.
Wow.
So we did lessons for the first month, just lessons online, and then we started doing band rehearsals online. And I came up with an idea on how to make that work because all the kids were like, this is going to work because the latency, which it doesn't. So what we did was, I'm probably giving away all my secrets, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. All these guys. But we did it like old school pre-production you would do going into a record. So our band director would play the song. He would mute all the kids in the band and they would play along. And then he would isolate every kid and say, hey, play back what you were playing to the thing. Mm-hmm. He would critique it and say, you're playing that wrong, or this is good. You need to do this here and there. And he would go through the whole band like that. And I'm telling you, man, we did that up until when we could get back in the building, which was around June, I think it was.
Ooh.
Whatever whatever she said we could do. You know who I'm talking about, Jan. So what we did a hybrid thing because we had certain numbers in the building. So I kept all the lessons online. I brought all my bands back because those kids were dying not being able to play with each other. Mm-hmm. All my rehearsal rooms, they were well over 12 feet apart. They all wore masks. I bought $4,000 in plexiglass shields, drum shields. Every single member of every band stood behind a plexiglass shield.
Jesus. Wow.
And I put a UV
filter
light
thing
in my HVAC system. Temp checks. If you felt bad, you stayed home, and that's what we did until we could get everybody back in the room together.
Please tell me you got a PPP loan to pay for that.
The funny thing is, buddy,
I love you, Colin.
No. So the thing with the PPP is you got to have full-time employees to be able to get a PPP because all the money had to go to your employees. All teaching houses and lesson houses are all independent contractors.
No shit.
98% of them are. That's how our crew is. So no.
So you got fucked the fucked way.
I got fucked the fucked way.
Wow.
So, but like I said, I'm very thankful and blessed. We had about a 98% retention rate through this whole shenanigans.
Are the numbers relatively better?
We're definitely
still growing.
Okay.
As long as they go in that direction and not the other.
Yeah, I mean, this is the deal. I think parents have figured out that there's no kids in the hospital.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I got parents that are nurses and ICU nurses in Frederick Memorial Hospital. 0 kids over there. Kids are in school all day, masked up. They want their kids out in activities because we saw the whole mental health thing go on with our kids online for a good 4 or 5 months, which it was bad, really bad.
One of the highlights for me over the pandemic was a project you and I worked on 2 times over before the third time you said, go get fucked, Colin. You didn't give me a call.
Yeah.
But we did something at Showtime. You remember that?
Of course I remember that. It was a lot of work.
That was a lot of work. But this was really one of the more fun things I've done in my career. One of the things, I mean, it meant a lot. We raised a lot of money. I still get emails from the Hartley House and
That's awesome.
And the rescue mission because we gave them a lot of money and they want more money, but we don't have any more money to give them. But can you talk about how, working with Sean at Showtime and I watched all those bands that came through both those nights. And that was just an amazing thing to see as the parents sat outside because we weren't allowed inside at the time, and they watched a video feed.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how that came together and what that meant to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think well, I was sitting there. I had a lot of time to sit at home. I mean, literally my days were, we had the entire school online. So every day I would send out a Zoom link to every single student that was on that day. And my wife's like, you don't have to send that out after the first time. I'm like, yes, I do, because if they start forgetting and not coming on, they're going to dip. Yeah. So I literally sent every parent a Zoom link every single day for all our instructors. I made sure the kid got online. I made sure my instructors, if they weren't on in 2 minutes, they were supposed to let me know so I could text the parents to remind them. I did that every single day. Like, I busted my ass to keep that school open, keep my guys working, keep them busy through the pandemic. It was a thing. Yeah. And when I wasn't doing that, I was like, okay, how can I get these kids still involved, feel like they're doing stuff? Because literally, man, we were watching kids on screens just kind of crumble. Mm-hmm. It was pretty sad and pretty bad.
They were so excited to do those.
It was amazing, dude. They lit up when I told them they had a show coming up, and we figured out a way to do it safely. Mm-hmm. I mean, the kids went nuts, and then the parents went nuts. The parents were like, "This is the best thing ever! Like, this is incredible! Like, holy shit! Like, this is wild! Like." And
interviewing them after each performance too.
I talked to you first. When I had the idea, I called you even before I went and talked to Sean.
Yeah.
I said, hey man, I got this idea. I think it's really going to work.
Yeah.
Will you get behind it? And you were out of the gate. We're like, absolutely, let's go. And then I talked to Sean. Sean was the same way. He was like, absolutely, let's do this. We'll crush it. Mm-hmm. So, and he came in, and Sean and Scott, his partner, were amazing, and his whole crew over there, and they really came in at a super duper duper discounted price. Mm-hmm. Like, it was ridiculous to make it all happen. It was a lot of work. Yeah. I mean, dude, the second show, they had freaking like Slipknot's lighting rig out. Like, that went out with like Slipknot. It was insane. Like, it looked amazing. It was like total pro video, and the parents were losing their minds. It was... And then we raised a shit ton of money.
We raised a lot of money. That's the thing. I mean, thousands of dollars.
Dude, and I went to, we went to businesses, man, and people are like, where can I send you the check?
Yeah.
Like, they thought it was amazing, and it was awesome.
Is that performance recorded anywhere that people can check it out?
Yeah, it's all on our like the Rock School Facebook page. It's all the shows are up there. They'll be up there forever, so they can go back and watch them, and yeah.
That's awesome.
It was fun. Like some kids, they would come to me when I would interview them, and they really wouldn't quite know how to respond.
It was amazing, actually.
I try to like pull something out of them, and they'd just be like, I don't know. But then there were some, and you could tell when you watch them perform, they were like natural front people in the band, like girls and boys. They would just like, they wanted the microphone, and they had a lot to say. It was like if you asked them about politics, they'd probably give you 5 minutes on Bernie Sanders. So it was incredible to kind of have that energy back there. And sometimes you make them laugh. Sometimes they don't know what to do, or they don't know what to say. And then they went out and watched the rest of it, right, with their parents.
Yeah,
outside.
I mean, everybody was out in the parking lot, and I told Sean, I said, man, is there any way besides them looking at their phone? Because it was live streamed on Facebook, and through the news post, which was awesome. And Key 103 had it streaming on their Facebook page. But he was like, "Yeah, man, we'll just do a video feed. We'll put that big giant like TV we have. That thing was huge. I don't even know what size it was. It was mammoth.
I know.
And we'll put it out there, and then everybody was spread out. They had their chairs out there. People brought coolers. It was pretty awesome, man. I mean, they were hanging out, having a good time, watching their kids jam. It was super cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of jamming, so Scott, you don't just you're not just the operator and the conductor of this Frederick legend, or not even just Frederick legend, a cross country legend school. You also play in at least 1.5 bands that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I play. I have it's funny. I've had a band called Shaft. That was the band that toured and did all this stuff. But we got back together. It was funny for our 10-year anniversary show. We did it at Old Mother, and we were all stoked. And then we booked a show with that was in January. Then we called up our buddies in Jimmy's Chicken Shack. We played with them in Baltimore. That show was off the chain, and I'm sure 300 people got COVID that night because it was the end of February.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the last week of February, and there was probably 500 people in the room, and then we were shut down. We were going to go do an EP and and go record and work on new music, and then our drummer got sick and he couldn't play drums for quite some time. So Brock was writing a bunch of songs and he played me a couple. I was like, wow, this is really, really, really good. Total different direction than Shaft. And I was like, man, I'm into it. It's great. And he goes, hey, let's record some songs. He had already recorded one, and then we went in and finished up the other songs and released that. And that's a project called Carlisle Drive. That was the street he lived on. That was the first place we ever played music together when we were 12. 13. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well,
That was only 5 years ago.
Yes.
We're going to play a song, Chris,
17.
aren't we?
I think so. Yeah, it's the song is called
Homeward Bound?
No.
Homeward.
No.
Go Home?
I
Go
think
Home.
Home of the Brave. It's called Soul Survivor.
Soul Survivor.
by
Man, I was
Carlisle
close.
Drive. Here we go.
Go.
A soul survivor, ashes in hand, a chip on your shoulder, scars that won't mend. It's all on your face, and no more time to hide. Uninvited, without a friend, unabated, raising your hand. Where will you strike your fist? This
that song is awesome. So when you said you were recording the song, did you guys go to a studio?
Yeah, our buddy Shane Gamble has a pretty awesome home studio. Like, it's insanely awesome.
That's
Like,
I thought he moved to Nashville.
He didn't. He's in Newmarket. So he did a left turn from Nashville to Newmarket.
I hear Newmarket's the new Nashville, actually.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But he's got a crazy studio in his basement, full on like control room and vocal booths and ISO booths, and it's incredible. And yeah, he's pretty talented engineer, and he mixed it, and
Yeah.
it turned out really good.
The song sounds great. I mean,
Yeah.
everything you can hear every part just really crisp, and
Yeah.
it's a really good mix. And I remember when you released the song, I was like, this does not sound like something I would think Scott would be in on. But it just
Well, it's funny, man. I love a lot of different stuff, man. Like, a lot of people don't realize I love like Band of Horses and Kings of Leon and you know, a lot of old like roots rock kind of stuff as well. Like, I love all of that.
yeah.
So
Give me the band that you tell people after a couple of drinks that you listen to and you're like a huge fan of. Like I went 4 drinks in band.
Guilty Pleasure.
There are no guilty pleasures, but yes,
Okay.
yes.
One of my favorite songs of all time, Smooth Up In Ya. Do you know who that's by?
Smooth Up In Ya, Little Feet,
No. It's a hair metal band.
Night Ranger.
Close. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
No, no.
I
who
love
is it?
Patsy Cline. One of my favorite singers of all time is Patsy.
Yeah, legendary.
Striper.
No.
No.
No, I think most Striper songs have like a
Bullet Boys.
Oh, Bullet Boys. Okay.
I don't know. I listen to everything, man. Country stuff to
Polka.
pop stuff to. No, not any. Not
Yeah,
polka.
I think I don't get enough polka. in
Are
my
you a
life.
polkaist?
When I grew up, I had a house. My mom was cool, man. She listened to Fleetwood Mac and Hall and Oates and all that stuff. And then my dad was all Motown and Elvis.
There you go.
So I had some cool stuff coming in my house when I was a kid.
So we talked about a bit of what the Let There Be Rock School does here in Frederick and in Philly and in El Paso and all these different places, but and no smoke up your ass here, but like anytime I meet a parent that has a kid in your school, it's the best. Like being able to say like, hey, they go to this school, they're learning these things, they're playing with these kids. I didn't think that anything like this existed, and it's awesome. So it's like I am very grateful for what you're doing here in this town, at least, because it is making a difference where it's like I didn't have a chance like that. I had to start a band with my brother. I had to play at a library at our first show in Middletown after hours that they weren't supposed to, and it was like I've done all the weird things to figure out.
But you've also helped a lot of our kids coming out of school with shows and
and
facilitating that, which is awesome.
And it's a delight. You got to pay it forward because, in theory, those
Agree.
kids should be around a lot longer than I am. So,
Yep.
so
And
but
then
with
they,
but
then
with that,
they got to pay it forward.
yes, that's right.
That's what we're trying to tell them.
That's right.
Yeah, don't lose sight of that, Scott.
You can't forget where you came from.
So with that, where do you see the Let There Be Rock School going next? Like, you have kind of your big events, COVID aside, right? Where you have your shows, where your bands get to come together and play, and you have your thing. But like, where do you want to see something grow?
Well, we actually, John and I got in Philly. I just helped an artist here in Frederick. Her name's Zeph. I don't know if you heard of her. She's a pop artist. She's managed by the Madden Brothers. And,
Shout out
she's-
to Charlotte.
Yeah,
Charlotte.
so she's got she's like super huge on social media. Twitter, her Twitter presence and Instagram presence is crazy. Like over 200K followers. Like her Twitter's like it's huge.
Is she bigger than Could Be Better?
Who is it?
Probably so.
What the?
Scott's beard is bigger.
But come
than
to find
Could Be Better.
out, she's besties with my Ada and my son. She's always over our house. Had no clue she was an artist. No clue. I'm not on social media like that. I had no clue she had any kind of like presence online. And
Can we get her on the show?
yeah, of course.
Let's get her on the show. We could get 250,000 followers.
Yeah, it's not that hard, I think.
Yeah, she's super cool. And but I had no clue she was an artist at all. She's a singer-songwriter and producer. She records all of her music. She's a pretty talented kid.
Yeah.
I call her a kid. She's like early 20s, but it's awesome. So my son came out and goes, "Hey, Zeph's going on tour. She needs help." I said, "Okay." He's like, she's never played a show ever. I'm like,
my gosh.
really? And I said, who's she going out with? She goes, she's going out with Water Park. So I pull up the ad mat, and it's all 2,000 cap rooms.
Shit, I saw that tour.
Yeah.
She was the cause that's crazy.
Yeah, she was the opener. Yeah, my boy was playing drums for her.
That's awesome.
And anyway, no experience, never sang like out of her room and out of singing into a mic to record. So I got her over to school, and I was like, holy moly, this is like from day one. Like, I had to teach her how to sing through a microphone, sing over the band, like the whole 9 yards, like get her comfortable, get her ready. And then our management called me and said, hey, they want to be on ears. So I had to put together an ear rig. So I called Sean and was like, hey.
Did you get them from Sean?
I did, of course. So I went over there, and I took the rehearsals to Sean's.
You had to rehearse over there.
So I rehearsed at Sean's. The guitar player and bass player, Christine, flew in from L.A., and she played guitar and bass. It was a 3-piece band, and then we rehearsed there. And she's toured with like Conan Gray, this big pop artist. She's done a bunch of big stuff. Super experienced. And then, you know, my son's toured forever, has been on ears, and they were just like, all right, we got to get this thing together. So anyway, we got her together, and then I actually went out and tour managed the 3 weeks they were on the run and did all of that. But getting back to my point is, you know, we've helped some young ladies, and we coached them all the way through The Voice. Like, I mean, all the way picking their songs for The Voice.
Sure.
I mean, all the way through. You know, they have their whole, like, people that mentor them, but you got to come with ideas, and, like, you know, we were doing all of that to, you know, what we did with Bad Seed and Mortimer Moreau, and then what we're doing and how we groom these young bands. We are going to go and approach a lot of people in the business, because now it is all, if you look at what's going on, it's all TikTok kids. It's all YouTube kids. It's all Instagram kids that are going to sign these major labels that have zero experience.
What do you think of that as somebody who's been in the music industry almost your entire life? Is there a cynicism?
It's tough for me because I'm a punk rock kid.
Yeah.
And like Chris said, I had to figure it out all on my own. Like, everything on my own. How to tune my guitar on my own. There was not, you know, snarks back in the day when I was doing. I was listening to Bad Brains records, teaching myself how to play bass guitar, and, you know, booking shows. I booked shows myself. That's what I was doing at 15. I was putting all ages shows on and booking shows and just figuring it out and making it happen.
Do you think that cheapens the artistry now?
No, because there's artists like that Zeph that
Who's
I've
really
seen
good.
who's really great and a great songwriter and she's producing her own music. She figured it out. She had nobody teaching her how to use these programs, plugins, and all this. I mean, she's learned all this on her own. It's pretty damn impressive. You know, is it bad for these kids to be able to have access to that? I don't think so. I mean, you know, to be able to release music that easy. I think, like, where I want to come in and start a new leg of this Let There Be Rock School is to provide that service to these labels and these artists of, like, hey, these guys are going to need a lot of help to get ready to go on stage. We can help them.
Yeah, and that
We have instructors.
Definitely.
We have the venues. We can get the equipment for them. We can put them out with, you know, TMs, and we can set all of this stuff up for them.
But I guess what I was trying to say, I guess, with the question was, do you think that there is a sense of these are not musicians, these are social media stars, you know?
Well, some
Like,
of them are.
some of them
some
are,
of them
some
are
of them
musicians. So
aren't.
you're gonna have. I
Yeah.
mean, just like these pop artists from the turn of time. You know, some
It's
of them
always
were
been the same
amazing.
formula,
You know,
yeah.
and then some of them were just like, okay, they're just puppets up there singing other people's songs.
The
And
Beatles are a bad band.
what do you mean by that?
If you just hot take. If you just listen, like, did you watch the
I did.
Disney thing?
Yeah.
And this was before I watched that, but even then, like, individually as players, you know, McCartney was pretty good. Ringo's not that great of a drummer. Lennon, he's got a great brain for songwriting, and Harrison was probably the best Beatle. I don't know, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like they were this band of technical prowess,
Right.
You know,
No, they weren't the Stones.
no, the Stones were a blues
But
band.
a great song is a great song.
That's
right.
true. That's very true.
Straight up.
Yeah. Well, it's
They
cool.
were McCartney and Lennon wrote great songs.
Amazing songs, yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting too. It's like in that same comparison as we were talking about at the top of the episode, which is like, you know, you have your rec students and then you have your other folks.
Yeah.
It's like it's that same thing where it's like some people like the attention on TikTok, but what they're creating is just kind of, you know,
Right.
this is what I do, and it's cool that if it pops, it pops, and if it doesn't,
Exactly.
I don't give a shit.
Right.
That's cool.
What were you gonna do? What were you gonna say?
Stuff.
No, go ahead.
No, it's like, you know, it was like the wrap up, you know.
Oh no, I that's why I jumped in
Oh,
because there's one more thing I wanted to get to, and it's real quick about Aiden because you brought Aiden up.
Yep.
How is he?
He's good.
He's doing well.
He's doing
And
well.
is he still? The last time that I talked to you about him, you told me he was not necessarily focusing on playing drums much anymore.
Well, it's funny I say that, and then the last thing he does is
I know.
he's on tour playing drums out of the blue, which is
Is he still writing himself? Is he still doing his own thing?
releasing music all the time.
That's cool.
That's what he's doing.
That's cool. Is he?
That's what he's focused on. He's doing art direction for artists too.
Okay.
You know, some artists in RCA he just did their EP, and he's got his hands in a bunch of stuff, man. He's still way into fashion, and
That's
and all
because
that
the
kind of
fashion
stuff.
thing was. I
Yeah.
know that was a.
He's not modeling anymore because he hated it. But
I don't
he
hate it
loves the
when I
fashion world.
So everybody stop there.
We don't talk about that modeling.
But he's doing good.
He's doing good.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. All my kiddos, all 500 of my kiddos
Oh,
are doing
really?
good.
Is there any? Is he still close with the Bad Seed kids?
Yeah. I mean, he talks to Franny all the time.
how's
Franny's
she?
at the school. She's killing it, man. She works at the rock school.
Is she
and-
teaching?
Oh man, she's
Oh,
awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, she's doing really good. She's got a really killer band she's put together.
No kidding.
And they just played that emo night we talked about earlier, and they did a whole set of My Chem and just
Awesome.
That was the
Crushed it.
that was the Transcendence Events show,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
I've only heard good things about those.
He's so good. Do you know Kevin Hawk?
I don't.
I got to make that connection with you.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah, because I think we're trying to, and I get by the time this podcast has come out, maybe we'll have some ideas. But it's like I think we're trying to bring emo night here to Frederick. Let's do it.
I want to be a part of it.
All right, here we go. All right, guys, it's happening.
Do you want to play? You'll play bass. I'll play drums. He'll play guitar and sing,
And we'll only do Blink-182 covers. That'll
I'm
be great.
fine with that.
or Beatles songs.
Cool. Emo style.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that'd be so good.
That'd be amazing. Right?
So Scott, we got one more song.
Okay.
And can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, this was the last EP we put out. We got back together in like 2010.
Shaft.
Shaft did, yeah, and we played a bunch of shows. And
Quick question: was
Yeah.
this after the Samuel L. Jackson /movie/TV show with the other guy that I don't know because I'm under 20?
no, this is really Tara. No,
Under 20. Holy shit. That's worse than me saying I model.
I know it's funny.
we were thinking of a name like forever, and we all got really ripped one night, and we went to Night Shift in Baltimore.
When you started that sentence, we all got. I thought you were going to end it with we all got the shaft.
No. And we were like, Night Shift, Night Shaft. And we were like, Shaft, cool name.
Yeah.
90s, you know.
Sure.
Dude,
yeah.
it's so good. But every
We used
time
to always play with a band from New York called Shift. Great killer band, post-hardcore band from Brooklyn. And then they were like, Shift. We play shows with them all the time. I don't know. It's whatever.
because every time you say Shaft, I go Shaft, and
Yeah.
it makes my heart swim. Okay, so anyway, so I cut you off. So
Yeah,
this is
right.
it was the last song you said.
Yeah, I think it was Sharpest Blade. It's a song.
Sharpest blade.
We did this with Drew Mazurek. Do you know Drew from Baltimore?
I know that name.
Yeah, he was a big producer, engineer guy in the 90s and 2000s. He still works. He did some great records, man.
Yeah.
Like killer records from DC and stuff. Jawbox.
Oh, cool.
Great dude.
Before we get into the song, though, can you tell us how people, if they want to sign up for Let There Be Rock School, if they want to visit Scott, if they want even to listen to any of your bands, how do they do that?
Send me a message.
What's your phone number?
LetThereBeRockSchools.com or on Facebook, Instagram. Hit us up.
Let There Be Rock
Or just
School.
stop by. We're open 2:30 to 9, Monday through Friday, 10 to 4
Where are you
on
located,
Saturdays.
Give the
We're
address.
on Industry Lane.
Right next to Vocelli's.
Yep. Right next and right behind Key 103 radio station.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Scott.
Yeah,
Thank
Scott,
you guys. You guys are two of my faves.
Thanks.
Don't
I
tell
want to be
anybody.
the fave. Fuck this.
Well,
Sorry.
but you're competing with me. It's fine. We can share ownership.
We're going to do a Beatles emo night.
Is it time to go get a beer now?
Yes.
Don't let me down.
I'm in on that. Seriously.
Do we have to pay Paul like $50,000 now? Look what you did.
No, Michael Jackson, he bought the rights, remember?
That's right.
Michael Jackson bought the rights.
One of the best interviews ever was McCartney on the Stern Show. Go back and watch it. It's on YouTube talking about that.
You can find that at the Let There Be Rock School page.
Here we go. Here's Sharpie's plate.
Fellas.
Lay it down on me with furious eyes. I'm conscious of every word. I'm conscious of you. I got it. Lay it down in tones, embolden your lies, yielding sharpened words, steel tongue fire ride. I got it. So lay it down on me in my sharpest blade. Lay it down again, let it out. Your words can bury me in my sharpest blade. Lay it down on me. You've been unconscious of me, you've been unconscious of every word. You've been unconscious of me, you've been unconscious of every word. You've been unconscious of me, you've been unconscious of every word. You've been unconscious of me, you've been unconscious of me, you've been unconscious of me, you've been unconscious of me. Lay it down on me in my sharpest blade. Lay it down again, let it out. Lay it down on me in my sharpest blade. Lay it down on me.
The Could Be Better podcast is produced by Chris Perry and Colin McGuire from the Could Be Better Studios in Frederick, Maryland.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at couldbebettermeh.
You could also email us at couldbebettermeh@gmail.com. And don't be afraid to reach out if you're an artist, a band, anybody looking for a show. We'd love to book you. Also, if you'd happen to want to be a sponsor, we'd like to hear from you too.
Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or follow us on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Give us a 5-star review if you like what you hear and want to hear more. And also give us a 5-star review if you don't like what you hear and definitely don't want to hear more.
His name is Chris Perry,
This is Colin McGuire.
and we are out of time. For now, this could be better.